Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to John Hardin High School for tonight's 17th District Volleyball action. Tonight's matchup has the 7 and 10 John Hardin Bulldogs hosting the 12 and 9 North Hardin Trojans. We're now going to turn it over to Coach Hampton, who will give the starting lineups for both teams.
Meet the visiting team from North Hardin, the Trojans. Number 1, Camila Walker. Number 2, Sept Grant. 4, Adriana Anderson. Number 7, McKenna Brown. Number 8, Emily Schmidt. 10, Kelsey Atkins. Number 11, Lamaya Morales. Number 12, Jocelyn Crutcher. Number 16, Faith Ramos. Number 18, Lindsay Hodder. Number 20, Paloma Martinez. Number 21, Reese Thompson. Number 24, Madison Huntley. And number 32, Justin Denman. All right, dogs, let's go ahead and let's welcome the John Hardin Lady Bulldogs. Number 1, Isabel Moore. Number 4, Isabel Carmen. Number 7, Deshae Blackwell. Number 8, Abby Moore. Number 9, Haley Russell. Number 11, Shelby Cox. Number 13, Sarah Buchanan. Number 24, Lydia Santos. And number 25, Ariella Wilson. And our captain, number 10, Aaliyah Hunt. The both teams come out swinging.
So there we have our starting lineups. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools live Channel 1 programming, sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunication needs. Physical Therapy Associates, more personal attention for more effective results. E-Town Apartments by Mark Harris Construction is a family-owned and operated management service with over 30 years of combined experience. Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, a family-owned business with competitive prices, pickup service, and a friendly staff. E-Town Exterminating is a locally owned, family-run pest control company that's been serving the surrounding area since 1976. And West Point Bank, let us help make life simpler. Hometown banking made simple. This is a 17th District matchup between the Bulldogs and the Trojans. It is a tri-meet as well. Immediately following the completion of this game, North Hardin will play Nelson County. John Hardin will sit one game, and then John Hardin will play Nelson County at the end. We will only have this 17th District matchup between the Trojans and the Bulldogs. It is a best 3 out of 5. Games will go to 25, leading by 2. If it goes to a 5th set, it'll be the first one to 15, leading by 2. So it will be John Hardin who will serve to start this first set. Haley Russell will start it off on the court. Cox, Isabel Moore, Abby Moore, Thompson to Brown, outside for Ramos. Ramos gets the kill. Sorry, also on the court for John Hardin. Then Russell, it's Lydia Santos and Deshae Blackwell. For the Trojans, McKenna Brown, Kelsey Atkins, Reese Thompson, Simone Grant, Faith Ramos, and Justice Denman. Brown to serve, 1 serving 0. we come back to action. McKenna Brown now serving, 2 serving 0. Blackwell to Russell, back row. Moore sends it over. Thompson to Brown for Denman. Dig by Isabel Moore. And Isabel Moore will send it over. Atkins to Brown. Denman in the middle. Tools the block. Gets the point for the Trojans. 3 serving 0. Blackwell to Russell. In the middle for Cox. She'll tap that one over. Ramos to Brown. Right at the net for Ramos, who just tips it over and finds the open hole. 4 serving 0. Blackwell to Isabel Moore to Santos, who sends it over. Atkins to Brown. Outside for Ramos. Winds up back row. Blackwell gets to it. Now to be Isabel Moore. And then Cox sends it over. Atkins to Brown. Quick set inside. Blocked at the net by Cox. First point of the night for the Bulldogs. Shelby Cox will head to the service line. On the front line, Ariel Wilson checks in for John Hardin. 1 serving 4. Service error. Point for the Trojans. Jocelyn Crutcher will check into the lineup for the Trojans as Faith Ramos heads to the service line. 5 serving 1. Isabel Moore to Russell. Now Santos sends it back line. Atkins to Brown, who just taps it over. Santos gets to that one. Russell, now to be Blackwell, sends it over. Ramos gets to that. Brown right at the net. Dimman just going to tap it over and get the point for the Trojans. Six serving 1. Isabel Moore to Abby Moore. Now Blackwell sends it over. Atkins to Brown for Grant, not able to get to it. Point for the Bulldogs. Paloma Martinez checks into the lineup for the Trojans. Abby Moore heads to the line for the Bulldogs. And Aaliyah Hunt checks in on the front line for John Hardin. 2 serving 6. Paloma to Brown for Grant. Abby Moore got to that one. Now Abby Moore will send it over. It hit the rafters, or a wire actually. And so a point for the Trojans. Isabel Carmen checks in on the back line for the Bulldogs. Kelsey Atkins to serve. 7 serving 2. Russell for Hunt goes back line. She gets the kill. And that'll send Lydia Santos to the line. 3 serving 7. Martinez to Brown for Schmidt. Picked up by Carmen. Russell get it towards the net, tapped over by Wilson. Now Atkins to Brown. She'll send it back row. Carmen is there to Russell for Hunt. Hunt gets it on the back line. Point John Hardin. 4 serving 7. Atkins to Brown. That's going to slip over. Wilson sends it back over. Grant, Brown, outside. Crutcher back line. Carmen gets that one. Russell up for Hunt. Dug out by Brown. Atkins for Crutcher. She'll send it over. Hunt gets that one. Russell in the middle for Wilson. Gets it over. Brown got that one. Now to be Atkins. Sends outside for Crutcher. That one doesn't clear the tape. Point Bulldogs. And what was 6-1 is now 5 serving 6. Martinez sends it back over on the overpass. Abby Moore, now to be Carmen that sends it over. Crutcher got that one. Atkins back for Crutcher. Tipped at the net. Santos digs that out. Russell outside for Hunt. Just taps it over. Brown to Atkins. Back now to be Grant who gets it over. Santos gets that one. Russell send it back towards the middle. Wilson will get it over. Grant to Brown. Right back for Grant. That one doesn't clear the tape, and we're tied. 6 serving 6. And that was touched by Atkins, ace for Santos. 7 serving 6. Atkins right at the net. Brown sends it back over. That'll go out. Oh, they're going to say over the net by the Bulldogs. Madison Hunley will come in. She will head to the service line for the Trojans. It'll be 7 serving 7. That one short, into the net. 8 serving 7. Shelby Cox back in on the front line. Isabel Moore heads to the service line. 8 serving 7. Hunley right at the net. Crutcher gets it up. Schmidt sends it over. Santos digs it out. Joust at the net, won by Schmidt. Point North Hardin. Reese Thompson and Faith Ramos will check in for the Trojans. Thompson heads to the service line. 8 serving 8. Santos to Russell. Back sets for Hunt. Blocked at the net. Dug out by Ramos. Thompson will keep it in play. Now Ramos sends it over. Isabel Moore to Russell. For Hunt one more time, sends it over left hand. Thompson gets it. Brown blocked at the net, sends it back. Cox, back corner, it's in. Point Bulldogs. Abby Moore checks back in on the front line. Deshae Blackwell will check in on the back line. She'll head to the service line. 9 serving 8. Atkins gets to that. Brown, quick set inside for Schmidt. Isabel Moore gets to that one and goes off the rafters. Unable to play it as it came back down. You can play it out of the rafters, but the ball cannot go over the net after it hits the rafters. Emily Schmidt now will head to the service line for the Trojans. 9 serving 9. Isabel Moore to Russell for Cox in the middle. Denman sends it back. Of a net violation on John Hardin. Point North. 10 serving 9. Isabel Moore to Russell for Cox. Touched at the net. Ramos to Brown, who just sends it over. Abby Moore gets that one. Russell for Cox, and Cox gets the kill. Kelsey Atkins checks back in on the back line for the Trojans. As Haley Russell heads to the service line. 10 serving 10. That one goes long. Point North Hardin. Simone Grant will come back in for the Trojans. As McKenna Brown heads to the service line. 11 serving 10. Isabel Moore to Russell. Santos will send that one back row. That's long. 12 serving 10. That sails long. Service error. Ariel Wilson checks in on the front line. Shelby Cox to the service line. 11 serving 12. Thompson to Brown. Back sets for Ramos. She'll just send it towards the middle. Blackwell to Russell. Outside for Santos. She goes back line. Atkins gets that one. Brown's going to send it back corner. Cox gets there. Russell back sets for Abby Moore. Hit at the net. Dimon sends it back over. Abby Moore to Russell. Back for Abby Moore. She goes across. It's wide. Point North. Jocelyn Crutcher into the lineup for North Hardin as Faith Ramos heads to the service line. 13 serving 11. We are in set number 1. This will be a best 3 out of 5 sets. Isabel Moore to Russell. Now to be Isabel Moore that sends it over. Atkins to Brown for Grant. Sends it, and that went on the outside of the antennas. So point for the Bulldogs. Paloma Martinez back in for North Hardin as Abby Moore heads to the service line. Aaliyah Hunt will check in on the front line for John Hardin. 12 serving 13. Crutcher to Brown all the way over. Not sure. Gets to that one and it gets over. North Hardin was saying that the ball had touched the antenna, but it had not. Isabel Carmen checks back in on the back line for the Bulldogs. Emily Schmidt checks in on the front line for North Hardin. Kelsey Atkins serving. 14 serving 12. That goes long. Point John Hardin. Lydia Santos will head to the line. 13 serving 14. Grant to Brown for Crutcher. She rolls that one over. Hunt to Russell. Back for Hunt. Hunt with the kill. 14 serving 14. Atkins to Brown. Now Crutcher sends it over, and Crutcher off the blocker gets the kill. Hundley now back into the lineup for the Trojans. 15 serving 14. Carmen to Russell for Hunt. Just tapped over, blocked back by Brown. Carmen. Now Russell will send it over. Martinez to Brown for Crutcher, and Crutcher finds the open hole. (16 serving 14). Carmen to Russell. Outside, Hunt again. Hunt with the kill. Isabel Moore heads to the service line. Shelby Cox checks back in on the front line. 15 serving 16. And that'll be an ace. 16 serving 16. Atkins to Crutcher, sends it over. Isabel Moore to Carmen. Now to be Cox that'll send it over. Atkins gets to this one. Brown, quick set inside for Schmidt. And Cox was in the net. I thought it was Schmidt in the net. Oh, point for the Trojans. Official's going to talk this over. Point for John Hardin. It was Schmidt in the net. 17 serving 16. Hunley to Crutcher. Outside for Brown, back row. Carmen gets that one. Russell just going to tap it over. Schmidt pops it up. Brown back row. Isabel Moore to Russell. Now it'll be Hunt. He'll roll it to the back line. Hunley to Brown. Quick set inside for Schmidt. Off Hunley. Santos. And now it'll be Isabel Moore who sends it over. Hunley to Brown. Outside for Crutcher. Hunt gets that one right at the net. Joust. One by Schmidt that time. Point North Hardin. Reese Thompson and Faith Ramos check in. Ramos to the front line. Thompson to serve. 17 serving 16. Of a timeout by John Hardin. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunication needs. Physical Therapy Associates, more personal attention for more effective results. Online at physicaltherapyky.com. eTownApartments.com by Mark Harris Construction. Take a virtual tour today at eTownApartments.com. Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, a family-owned business with competitive prices, pickup service, and a friendly staff. Call 270-982-7206 to talk to someone about scrapping metal. E-Town Exterminating is a locally owned family-run pest control company. It's been serving the surrounding area since 1976. Call 270-737-6900 or go online at mugabug.com. And West Point Bank, let us help make life simpler. Hometown banking made simple. Online at westpointbank.com. So we come back to action. It will be 17 serving 16. Reese Thompson at the line for the Trojans. Isabel Moore right at the net. Hunley digs it out from Russell. Ramos off the front line gets the kill. (18 serving 16). Floats that one over. Cox to Russell. Back for Cox. Blocked at the net. Blocked by Schmidt and Brown. 19 serving 16. Ballooned. Isabel Moore gets to that one. Russell. Hunt sends it wide. Point North. 20 serving 16. Santos to Russell. Hunt now will send it over. Thompson to Brown. Outside for Ramos. That doesn't clear the tape. They're going to say that John touched it. Back for Ramos. Isabel Moore to Russell. Now to be Carmen, rolls that one over. Hunley to Brown. Outside again, Ramos. This time full swing. Carmen digs that one out. Russell for Cox in the middle. Cox finds the hole and gets the kill. Abby Moore back in for John Hardin on the front line. Deshae Blackwell will check in and head to the service line. 17 serving 20. Thompson to Brown for Ramos. She'll roll that one over. Abby Moore right at the net for Russell. And it's going to be a double hit. Point for North Hardin. Justice Denman back in on the front line for the Trojans as Emily Schmidt heads to the service line. 21 serving 17. Blackwell overpass. Dug out on the floor. Now Isabel Moore sends it over. Denman to Brown. Right back for Denman. Denman goes back row. It's in. 22 serving 17. And Coach Hampton and the Bulldogs will take their second timeout. Tomorrow night we will be back on the air with the middle school championship game. Friday night we will be at Central Hardin as Barron County comes to take on the Bruins. That one with an 8 o'clock kickoff time. And then on Sunday we start the 17th District soccer tournaments. Sunday it will be the girls 4-5 game. And then on Monday it'll be the boys 4-5 game. Tuesday night we will have the girls semifinals, 2 games, one at 5:30, one at 8. And then we will have 2 more semifinals on Wednesday in the boys tournament, 5:30 and 8. And Thursday night it will be both championship games. The girls will be played at 5:30, the boys at 8 o'clock. Blackwell to Russell for Cox. That one goes off Thompson. Now Denman will send it over. Blackwell to Russell for Cox one more time. This one blocked at the net. Point, North Hardin. 23 serving 17 with Emily Schmidt at the line. Isabel Moore to Russell. Side for Abby Moore. Thompson to Denman. That's going to be a double. That'll get Kelsey Thompson back in. Haley Russell heads to the service line. 18 serving 23. Hunley to Brown. Back out for Ramos. Ramos off the blockers. Gets the kill, and it'll be set point for North Hardin. Simone Grant will come in on the front line. So McKenna Brown heads to the service line. 24 serving 18. And Blackwell to Abby Moore. Now it'll be Isabel Moore. Sends it over. Thompson to Brown for Denman. Left hand, Santos got to it. Blackwell, they aren't going to be able to get it back over. Point, North Hardin, and that will do it as our first set comes to a close. North Hardin victorious 25-18. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunication needs. Physical Therapy Associates, more personal attention for more effective results, with locations in Elizabethtown, Hodgenville, Radcliffe, and South Louisville. Online at physicaltherapyky.com. eTownApartments.com by Mark Harris Construction. Take a virtual tour today at eTownApartments.com. For those who are serving our country in the military, a discount is available. eTown Apartments is a family-owned and operated management service with over 30 years of combined experience. Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, a family-owned business with competitive prices, pickup service, and a friendly staff available for all your recycling needs. Located in Elizabethtown on 31W, just south of exit 91 off Interstate 65. Call 270-982-7206 to talk to someone about scrapping metal and recycling. E-Town Exterminating is a locally owned, family-run pest control company and has been serving Hardin, Meade, Grayson, and Nelson counties and the surrounding areas of Kentucky since 1976. Whatever your pest control issues are, termites, spiders, crickets, general pests, even moles, their team has the knowledge, skill, and training to safely and effectively eliminate the problem. Call 270-737-6900 or go online at mugabug.com. West Point Paint has 5 offices located in Elizabethtown, Radcliffe, Upton, Glendale, and West Point. Let us help make life simpler. Hometown banking made simple. Online at westpointbank.com. Tune in weekly for all local HCEC-TV programs, airing on Brandenburg Telecom and Comcast Cable Channel 2, Spectrum Communications Channel 184, and you can always check out our past broadcasts on our YouTube channel. Just search HCEC-TV, subscribe to our channel, and get all your local community sports and events. We'd also like to thank NFHS, the National Federation of High School Sports, and its support in providing live streaming service. Contact nfhs.com to subscribe today. As the Bulldogs come back out for the second set on the court, Haley Russell, Aaliyah Hunt, Shelby Cox, Rilla Wilson, Isabel Carmen and Lydia Santos. Sorry, had a little noise there. Isabel Moore will check in as the libero for the Bulldogs. On the court for the Trojans, Simone Grant, Justice Denman, Faith Ramos, Emily Schmidt, McKenna Brown, and Reese Thompson. And checking in is Kelsey Atkins as the libero. North Hardin will serve first. McKenna Brown at the line. 0 serving 0. And Cox will get it back in. Carmen now going to send it over. Denman sends it back over, comes right back to her. Grant pops it in the air, unable to get to it. Out of the Trojans, and a point for the Bulldogs. Haley Russell now to the line for the Bulldogs. 1 serving 0. Atkins, that's going to be an ace. 2 serving 0. Thompson to Brown, who just taps it over. Isabel Moore gets to that one. Russell back sets for Santos. Tipped at the line, dug out by Brown. Atkins, now it'll be Grant who sends it over back corner, and that'll get the point for the Trojans. Jocelyn Crutcher in on the front line for North Hardin as Faith Ramos heads to the service line. 1 serving 2. Carmen to Russell. Now Isabel Moore will send it back line. Ramos to Brown. Crutcher gets this one over, goes wide. Point, John Hardin. Paloma Martinez in for North Hardin on the back line. Abby Moore will check in on the front line, and Deshae Blackwell will check in on the service line for the Bulldogs. 3 serving 1. And Atkins sends it back over. Haley, now Cox will bump it in the air. Isabel Moore not able to get that one over. Point North. Emily Schmidt checks in on the front line for the Trojans. Kelsey Atkins to the service line. 2 serving 3. And a service error. Wilson checks in on the front line. Shelby Cox to the service line. 4 serving 2. Grant to Brown for Crutcher. Off the front line, Russell sends it back over. Brown to Atkins. Outside Crutcher again. That one doesn't clear the tape. A 5 serving 2. Grant to Brown. Outside. Russell outside for Santos. Back row, it's long. Touch by the Trojans. Point Bulldogs. 6 serving 2. Atkins to Brown. Brown just going to send it over. Blackwell gets that one. Now Russell back sets for Abby Moore. And that one goes off the back line and a point for John Hart. And with that, Coach Mattingly will take their first timeout. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunication needs. Physical Therapy Associates, more personal attention for more effective results. eTownApartments.com by Mark Harris Construction. Take a virtual tour today at eTownApartments.com. Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, a family-owned business with competitive prices, pickup service, and a friendly staff. E-Town Exterminating is a locally owned, family-run pest control company. It's been serving the surrounding areas of Kentucky since 1976. And West Point Bank, let us help make life simpler. Hometown banking made simple. So we come back to action. Bulldogs lead 7-2. Shelby Cox at the line. Atkins to Brown. Up for Schmidt. Off the front line, and it'll be a kill for Schmidt. Simone Grant now to the service line for the Trojans. 3 serving 7. Service fault. Madison Hunley back into the lineup for the Trojans on the back line. Leah Hunt checks in. And Isabel Carmen checked in as Lydia Santos heads to the service line. Make sure that all their rotations are correct. 8 serving 3. Atkins to Crutcher for Schmidt. Dug out by Santos. Russell in the middle for Wilson. Santos now to be Isabel Moore, sends it over. Hunley to Brown for Schmidt, just tapped over. Russell gets that one. Hunt pops it in the air. Now Carmen will send it over. That goes wide. Point Trojans. They'll get Reese Thompson and Faith Ramos into the game. Ramos heads to the front line. Thompson to serve. 4 serving 8. Santos to Russell for Carmen. Rolls that one over. Atkins to Brown. Hunley will send it over. Doesn't clear the tape. Point John Hardin. And Isabel Carmen now heads to the service line. 9 serving 4. That goes long. Justice Denman back in on the front line for the Trojans as Emily Schmidt heads to the service line. 5 serving 9. Isabel Moore to Russell for Hunt. Blocked at the net. Wilson not able to get it back up. Block, I believe, was by Ramos and Denman. 6 serving 9. Carmen to Russell for Hunt. And gets the kill on that one. And Isabel Moore will head to the service line as Shelby Cox checks back in on the front line for the Bulldogs. 10 serving 6. Brown to Denman, blocked at the net. Popped in the air, now Brown sends it back over. Isabel Moore to Russell for Cox. Back line, it's long. Point North. Simone Grant back in on the front line for North Hardin. McKenna Brown to the service line. 7 serving 10. Carmen to Russell for Hunt. And sent back. Santos to Isabel Moore. Now Russell sends it over. Thompson to Brown. Outside for Ramos. Back line. It's in. 8 serving 10. Carmen to Isabel Moore. Now to be Cox that sends it over. Thompson to Brown for Denman. Blocked at the net. Ramos pops it in the air. Thompson back outside for Ramos. She'll get it to the back line. Isabel Moore to Russell. Now for Cox. Tipped at the net. Brown to Atkins. Outside. Off the front line. Hunt gets it. Rolls it back over Ramos to Grant. Now to be Brown that sends it back row. That's long. Point John Hardin. Haley Russell now to the service line. 11 serving 8. Grant to Brown. Now Ramos will roll it back row. Isabel Moore and some miscommunication. Point for the Trojans. Jocelyn Crutcher into the lineup for the Trojans as Faith Ramos heads to the line. 9 serving 11. Floats that one over. Cox to Russell. For Santos, just taps it over and finds the open spot. Point Bulldogs. And Paloma Martinez into the lineup for the Trojans. As Abby Moore and Deshae Blackwell will check in for the Bulldogs. Blackwell heads to the line. 12 serving 9. That goes wide. Point North. Emily Schmidt comes back in on the front line. As Kelsey Atkins will head to the service line. Ten serving 12. Blackwell to Cox. Now Isabel Moore will send it over. Grant to Brown. Right back for Grant. Blocked at the net. And point for Bulldogs. Shelby Cox now serving 13, serving 10. Atkins to Brown. Outside for Schmidt, rolls that one over. Russell to Blackwell. Back for Russell, she'll send it back row. Martinez to Brown for Schmidt, and Schmidt gets the kill. Madison Hunley back in for the Trojans. She'll head to the service line, 11 serving 13. Officials ask for time as they check all the rotations. For the Bulldogs, they will be back in action Friday evenings. They will be in Lexington as they will be taking on Scott and Bryan Station that evening. For the Trojans, their next game will be tomorrow night as they will host Marion County. Back to action. Well, not back to action yet. They're still checking the rotations. For us, again, we're back on the air Friday night. It'll be football action as Barron County comes to take on the Central Hardin Bruins in district play. That game will start at 8 o'clock. Coach Paul Gray will bring you all of that action. And then on Sunday, we will start the 17th District girls soccer tournament. Their tournament will go opening round game on Sunday, Tuesday night the 2 semifinal games, and Thursday the championship game at 5:30. For the boys 17th District, it'll be on Monday the opening round game, Wednesday the 2 semifinals, and then the on championship game will be on Thursday at 8 o'clock. They're still having a question on the rotation of John Hardin. Now they've got everybody where they're supposed to go. Hundley will be at the line, 11 serving 13. Abby Moore to Hundley, back. Blackwell sends it over. Crutcher to Brown, back for Crutcher. Off the front line, Hundley pops that one in the air. Isabel Moore, and now to be Wilson who gets it over. Brown to Atkins. Outside, Crutcher just taps that one over. Russell gets to that one. Isabel Moore to Blackwell. Now Martinez to Brown. Outside, Crutcher one more time. Santos gets that one. Russell for Blackwell. She'll send it back corner. Hundley there. Brown for Schmidt, just tapped over. Abby Moore gets that one to Russell. Back to Abby Moore off the front line. Atkins gets that one in. Brown outside. Crutcher. She'll roll it back line. Blackwell is there. Russell outside. That's a double hit. And that'll be a point for North Hardin. Serving 13. We are in set number 2. North Hardin won set number 1, 25-18. Blackwell to Russell for Isabel Moore, and it gets in. She gets the kill. Lydia Santos now to the line for the Bulldogs. 14 serving 12. Martinez to Crutcher. Outside for Brown. Abby Moore gets that one to Russell. Now Blackwell send it back corner. Martinez there again. Brown in the middle for Schmidt. Just tapped over. Russell gets that. Isabel Moore back outside. Russell send it over. Brown to Atkins. Now Crutcher will go back row. Santos is there. Russell inside for Wilson. Blocked by Schmidt. Knocked right back over. Brown for Schmidt. To the middle, Blackwell dives and gets that one. Russell outside, Abby Moore, and Abby Moore with the kill. 15 serving 12. Martinez overpass, Abby Moore gets that. Russell back for Abby Moore, across, Crutcher gets that. Hundley outside for Crutcher. She'll go back row. It's wide. Point John Hardin. 16 serving 12. That goes long. That'll get Thompson and Ramos up off the bench for the Trojans. Ramos to the front line, Thompson to the service line. 13 serving 16. Isabel Moore to Russell, inside for Wilson, blocked by Schmidt. 14 serving 16. Back row, Isabel Moore to Russell for Abby Moore. Down the line, it's in. Isabel Carmen, she'll head to the service line. Zalia Hunt will come in on the front line. 17 serving 14. Again, checking the rotation. So it won't be Carmen, it will be Isabel Moore serving. Atkins to Brown. She'll send it over. Tipped to the net by Cox. Now Russell to Isabel Moore. Now Carmen will send it back row. Adkins to Thompson. For Ramos, that goes long. Point Bulldogs. 18 serving 14. Ramos to Brown for Schmidt, and Schmidt gets the kill. Denman will check in on the front line for the Trojans. Emily Schmidt to the service line, 15 serving 18. Santos to Russell for Cox, touched at the net, and Cox with the kill. Hunley to Brown for Ramos. Ramos gets the kill. Simone Grant back in for North Hardin. And McKenna Brown heads to the service line, 16 serving 19. Carmen to Russell. Side for Hunt. Hunt back line. Brown gets to that one. Atkins for Ramos. Carmen digs that one out. Russell for Hunt one more time. Rolls that one to Thompson. Brown right at the net. Sends it back. Now Grant will send it over. Santos to Russell. Outside Hunt one more time. Back row. Atkins gets that one. Brown sends it back. Atkins will send it back row. Carmen gets that one. Russell for Cox. Back row. Thompson has that one. And unable to return it. Another kill for Shelby Cox. 20 serving 16. As Haley Russell heads to the line. And that's an ace for Russell. And a timeout, North Hardin. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools live Channel 1 programming, sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunication needs. Physical Therapy Associates, online at physicaltherapyky.com. eTownApartments.com, family-owned and operated management service with over 30 years of combined experience. Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling. Call 270-982-7206 to talk to someone about scrappy metal and recycling. E-Town Exterminating is a locally owned family-run pest control company. Call 270-737-6900 or go online at mugabug.com. And West Point Bank. Let us help make life simpler. Hometown banking made simple. Online at westpointbank.com. So we come back to action. Haley Russell will be at the service line for the Bulldogs, 21 serving 16. Atkins to Brown for Ramos. She rolls it over. Isabel Moore is there. Russell back sets for Santos. Santos goes long. Point North. Jocelyn Crutcher checks in on the front line for the Trojans as Faith Ramos heads to the service line, 17 serving 21. Carmen to Russell for Cox. Blocked at the net by Denman. Carmen. And now Moore will send it over. Brown to Atkins. Outside. Grant sends it back row. Isabel Moore gets that one. Russell for Hunt. Just tapped over and finds another open spot. Another kill for Aaliyah Hunt. Paloma Martinez checks in for the Trojans. Wilson checks in for John Hardin. Shelby Cox at the line, 22 serving 17. That's long. Isabel Moore to Russell for Santos. She'll just tap it over. Schmidt knocks it in the air for Brown. Now to be Grant who comes in, and Grant gets the kill. Kelsey Atkins now to the line. 19 serving 22. And there's an ace for Atkins. 20 serving 22. Hunt to Isabel Moore. Now it'll be Carmen that'll send it over. Atkins to Brown. In the middle for Schmidt, just tapped it over. Santos gets that one. Russell back for Wilson, sent over. Martinez not able to get it up. And it's just cleaned out by Hunt. She gets the kill. Abby Moore will check in on the front line. Deshae Blackwell will head to the back line to serve. 23 serving 20. Martinez overpass back over. Russell gets that one to Isabel Moore. Outside for Abby Moore. Sends it over. Martinez to Brown. She'll send it back row. Blackwell is there. Russell back sets Abby Moore. Blocked at the net by Schmidt. Madison Hundley now into the game for the Trojans. 21 serving 23. Blackwell to Hundley. Outside, Abby Moore goes back row, and it's in. And it will be set point for the Bulldogs as Lydia Santos heads to the line. 24 serving 21. Martinez to Crutcher outside for Brown. Off the blockers, and a kill for McKenna Brown. Reese Thompson and Faith Ramos check in for North Hardin. Thompson to the line, 22 serving 24. Blackwell to Russell for Abby Moore, back line. Atkins gets to that, Brown, and now Thompson will send it back row. Santos to Russell for Abby Moore, back line, it's long. Point North, 23 serving 24. And Coach Hampton will take his first time out of the second set. Back to action. Reese Thompson at the line for the Trojans. 23 serving 24. Blackwell to Russell. Blackwell send it back row. Thompson gets that one. Brown pops it in the air. Ramos just tapped it over. Santos gets that right at the net. Blocked by Ramos. We're going to get a little free volleyball. In order to finish off a set, you must win by 2, so we'll have to go to at least 26. 24 serving 24. Santos to Russell. Blackwell catches the top of the tape. Thompson to Brown, outside Ramos. Ramos off the blockers. And Coach Hampton will take his second time out of set number 2. Tomorrow night we will have the middle school football championship game from North Hardin. Scheduled start time is at 5:30. Friday night it'll be football action at Central Hardin as the Bruins will host Barron County. Game time scheduled for an 8 o'clock kickoff. And then Sunday, we start the girls 17th District Soccer Tournament. The opening round on Sunday, 2 semifinal games on Tuesday, and the final at 5:30 on Thursday. For the boys tournament, it starts on Monday with the opening round. Wednesday will be 2 semifinal games, and then on Thursday, their final at 8 o'clock. Back to action here. Thompson serving for North, 25 serving 24. Santos to Russell. Outside for Abby Moore. Backline, Hunley gets that one to Brown. Outside for Ramos, just tapped over. Santos gets it in. Abby Moore will get it over. Ramos there again. Isabel Moore dives, but it'll be the kill for Faith Ramos. And North Hardin takes set number 2, 26-24. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunication needs. Physical Therapy Associates, more personal attention for more effective results. With locations in Elizabethtown, Hodgenville, Radcliffe, and South Louisville, online at physicaltherapyky.com. eTownApartments.com by Mark Harris Construction. Take a virtual tour today at eTownApartments.com. For those who are serving our country in the military, a discount is available. eTown Apartments is a family-owned and operated management service with over 30 years of combined experience. Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, a family-owned business with competitive prices, pickup service, and a friendly staff available for all your recycling needs. Located in Elizabethtown on 31W, just south of exit 91 off Interstate 65, call 270-982-7206 to talk to someone about scrapping metal and recycling. E-Town Exterminating is a locally owned family-run pest control company and has been serving Hardin, Meade, Grayson, and Nelson counties and the surrounding areas of Kentucky since 1976. Whatever your pest control issues are, termites, spiders, crickets, general pests, even moles, their team has the knowledge, skill, and training to safely and effectively eliminate the problem. Call 270-737-6900 or go online at mugabug.com. And West Point Bank has 5 offices located in Elizabethtown, Radcliffe, Upton, Glendale, and West Point. Let us help make life simpler. Hometown banking made simple. Online at westpointbank.com. Tune in weekly for all local HCEC-TV television productions on Brandenburg Telecom and Comcast Cable Channel 2, Spectrum Communications Channel 184. You can always check out our past broadcasts on our YouTube channel. Just search HCEC-TV, subscribe to our channel, and get all your local community sports and events. We'd also like to thank NFHS, the National Federation of High School Sports, and its support in providing live streaming service. Contact nfhs.com to subscribe today. Start set number 3 on the court for the Bulldogs. Shelby Cox, Aaliyah Hunt, Lydia Santos, Haley Russell, Ariel Wilson, and Isabel Carmen, with Isabel Moore set to check in as the libero. For the Trojans, Justice Denman, Faith Ramos, McKenna Brown, Emily Schmidt, Reese Thompson, Madison Hunley, and checking in as the libero will be Kelsey Atkins. John Hardin will start off with the first serve in set number 3. Haley Russell to the line. Hunley to Atkins. That's going to end up being an ace. 1 serving 0. Thompson to Brown. She'll just tap it over. Hunt gets that one. Russell for Santos. Back line. Atkins gets it to Brown. Right at the net for Ramos, and Ramos gets the kill. Simone Grant will check in for the Trojans as McKenna Brown heads to the service line. 1 serving 1. Carmen to Russell. Now Isabel Moore will send it over. Brown to Denman. And then miscommunication, not able to get it back over. Point for the Bulldogs. Wilson checks back in on the front line. Shelby Cox heads to the service line. 2 serving 1. Thompson to Brown for Ramos, and she finds the off-speed hit, finds the open hole. Jocelyn Crutcher and Paloma Martinez check into the lineup for the Trojans. Martinez to the service line, 2 serving 2. Isabel Moore into the net. That would be an ace for Martinez. 3 serving 2. Isabel Moore to Wilson. And Carmen will send it over. Denman to Brown. Outside for Crutcher. Dug out by Hunt to Russell. And now Carmen will send it over. Denman again to Brown for Crutcher. Off the tape, off Hunt. Carmen gets to it. And Isabel Moore sends it over. Atkins to Brown. Inside for Denman. And Denman off a Bulldog for the kill. 4 serving 2. Carmen to Russell for Hunt, and Hunt gets the kill. Abby Moore and Deshae Blackwell check in for John Hardin. Blackwell to the line, 3 serving 4. And that's an ace. 4 serving 4. That one runs long. Service error. That'll get Emily Schmidt back in for the Trojans on the front line as Kelsey Atkins heads to the service line. 5 serving 4. And that one's long. Point Bulldogs. Lydia Santos heads to the line. 5 serving 5. Atkins to Brown for Crutcher. Rolls that one towards the left off a Bulldog, and the kill for Crutcher. Madison Hunley now into the lineup for the Trojans. 6 serving 5. Santos to Russell. Outside, Abby Moore goes back line. Martinez to Atkins. Now Brown will send it over. Isabel Moore to Russell. For Wilson, dug out by Martinez. Brown back row. Hunley will send it back row. Blackwell to Russell. Outside, Abby Moore blocked at the net, dug back out. Blackwell, and now to be Santos, can't get it over. A little miscommunication by the Bulldogs. Sarah Buchanan now checking into the lineup for the Bulldogs. 7 serving 5. Blackwell to Isabella Moore. Santos able to get it over. Hunley to Brown for Crutcher. Touched at the net. Santos gets that one. To Buchanan now. Santos sends it back row. Martinez is there. Brown for Crutcher. Back row. It's long. Point Bulldogs. Isabel Moore now heading to the service line as Shelby Cox checks in on the front line. 6 serving 7. Brown to Crutcher. Back for Brown. Cross court, gets the kill. Reese Thompson, Faith Ramos check in for North Hardin. Thompson to the service line. 8 serving 6. That one just gets over. Sent back by Buchanan, now dug out by Santos. Buchanan up, Abby Moore sends it back row, Atkins there to Brown. For Schmidt in the middle, just tapped over, Buchanan gets that. Cox pops it in the air, Buchanan sends it over, Hundley gets that. To Brown for Atkins, she'll go back row, Santos is there. Buchanan, that was close to a double hit. Cox to Thompson. Now Brown for Ramos, rolls that one over, Santos again, a diving dig, and there's Schmidt with the kill. Nine serving 6. Cox to Buchanan, back for Cox. She'll send it, blocked at the net. Cox pops it up, Abby Moore. Now Buchanan sends it back row, Thompson to Schmidt. For Ramos, she goes back row. It's in on the back line. Point Trojans. Coach Hampton will take his first timeout, set number 3. This is a Hardin County Education and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Special thanks to our live sports coverage sponsors, Brandenburg Telecom, Physical Therapy Associates, eTownApartments.com, Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, eTown Exterminating, and West Point Bank. Tune in weekly for all local HCEC-TV programs, airing on Brandenburg Telecom and Comcast Cable Channel 2, Spectrum Communications Channel 184, and you can always check out our past broadcasts on our YouTube channel. Just search HCEC-TV, subscribe to our channel, and get all your local community sports and events. As we come back to action, Reese Thompson at the line for the Trojans, 10 serving 6. Blackwell to Buchanan for Cox. She'll go back row, it's long, point North. Serving 6. Santos to Russell for Abby Moore off the front line. Atkins with that to Brown for Ramos. Blocked there at the net. Back. Ramos again throws it over. Santos gets this one. Russell for Cox. Back line. Atkins gets there. Brown. Thompson will roll that one over. Abby Moore gets to that one. Russell back for Abby Moore. Off the ground, a couple of hits. Thompson sends it over. Blackwell dives and gets that one. Russell outside Abby Moore one more time. That's wide. Good rallies on both sides here. Point North, 12 serving 6. Thompson floats that one over. Santos with it. Russell for Cox, and Cox gets the kill. Isabel Carmen checks in along with Aaliyah Hunt for the Bulldogs. Carmen heads to the service line, 7 serving 12. Hundley to Brown for Ramos, rolls that one over. Santos to Russell for Cox, blocked to the net by Schmidt. Isabel Moore hits it in the air. Now Santos sends it back line. Atkins, side for Brown. Ramos, that one off the blockers and wide. Point North. Justice Denman back into the lineup for the Trojans as Emily Schmidt heads to the service line. 13 serving 7. That's wide. Point John Hardin. And Haley Russell now heads to the service line for the Bulldogs. 8 serving 13. That catches the line. Ace for the Bulldogs. 9 serving 13. Thompson to Brown. Outside for Ramos, just tapped over. Russell sends it back, but that'll go wide. Point North. Simone Grant checks in on the front line for the Trojans. McKenna Brown to the service line. 14 serving 9. Isabel Moore to Russell for Hunt, and Hunt gets the kill. Wilson back in on the front line. Shelby Cox to the service line. 10 serving 14. Atkins to Brown for Denman. Santos not able to dig it out well. It goes out. Point North. Paloma Martinez checks in along with Jocelyn Crutcher. Martinez to the service line. 15 serving 14. Isabel Moore to Russell. Back for Isabel Moore. Martinez almost over, and that's going to be a kill by Isabel Moore. Point John Hardin. Abby Moore and Deshae Blackwell back in for the Bulldogs. Blackwell to the line, 12 serving 15. Pops this one up. Atkins to Brown. Outside for Crutcher. She'll go back row. Blackwell gets to it. Russell. Now Isabel Moore will send it over. Atkins right at the net. I think it's a net violation on Wilson. Point Trojans. Atkins to the line for North, 16 serving 12. And an ace for Atkins, 17 serving 12. Santos, and that'll be back-to-back aces for Atkins. With that, Coach Hampton will take a timeout. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools Live Channel 1 programming, sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunication needs. Physical Therapy Associates, more personal attention for more effective results. E-Town Apartments by Mark Harris Construction is a family-owned and operated management service with over 30 years of combined experience. Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, a family-owned business with competitive prices, pickup service, and a friendly staff available for all your recycling needs. E-Town Exterminating is a locally owned, family-run pest control company and has been serving the surrounding areas of Kentucky since 1976. And West Point Bank, let us help make life simpler. Hometown banking made simple. So we come back to action. Kelsey Atkins will be at the line for the Trojans, 18 serving 12. We are in set number 3. North Hardin won set 1, 25-18, and set 2, 26-24. Santos to Russell, gets it over, and a point for the Bulldogs. And now to be Lydia Santos at the line. 13 serving 18. Atkins to Brown for Grant, not able to get that one over. 14 serving 18. Atkins to Brown for Crutcher, back corner, it's wide. 15 serving 18. Martinez to Brown for Schmidt. She'll roll it over. Abby Moore to Russell. Back for Abby Moore. Back line. Martinez to Brown. And Trojans can't return it. 5 straight points for the Bulldogs. And North Hardin will take a timeout. Again, a reminder, we'll be back on the air. Tomorrow night we will be covering the middle school football championship game at North Hardin. Friday night we'll have our crew at Central Hardin High School for the Barron County Central Hardin football matchup. Game time there starting at 8 o'clock. Sunday we will start the girls 17th District Soccer Tournament. The opening round on Sunday, 2 semifinal games on Tuesday, and the championship game on 5:30 on Thursday. Boys 17th District Tournament, opening round on Monday, 2 semifinals on Wednesday, and then the championship game on Thursday at 8 o'clock. Santos serving, 16 serving 18. Martinez to Crutcher, now Atkins sends it back row. Isabel Moore to Russell for Wilson, blocked at the net. Russell pops it in the air. Isabel Moore outside for Abby Moore, goes back line, Atkins is there. Brown for Crutcher, blocked at the net. Atkins gets to it. Martinez, Crutcher will send it over. Isabel Moore to Russell for Abby Moore. That's wide. Point North. Madison Hunley back into the lineup for the Trojans. Heads to the service line. 19 serving 16. Santos to Russell, and Blackwell sends it back row. Atkins there. Brown in the middle for Schmidt, just tapped over, diving for it. Now Wilson to get back over. I think they're going to call a carry on that. They do. 20 serving 16. Santos to Russell, back to Santos. That goes long. 21 serving 16. Abby Moore not able to get it back. Ace for Hunley. 22 serving 16. Santos to Blackwell. Santos now will send it over. Hunley to Brown. Cross for Crutcher, rolls that one over. Oh, and now Blackwell sends it back. Schmidt to Brown, back for Schmidt. Isabel Moore with the dig. Russell going to send it back corner. Atkins is there. Brown going to bump it across for Crutcher. Down the line, Santos digs that one out. Russell for Blackwell, rolled over. Hunley gets that to Brown. Outside Crutcher one more time, back row. Blackwell gets that one. Abby Moore to Santos, just gets it over. Schmidt there. Brown back outside for Crutcher. Off the blockers and the kill. Point North Hardin. 23 serving 16. Santos to Russell. Now Abby Moore will roll it back line. Martinez there for Brown. Back for Atkins. That doesn't clear the tape. Point, John Hardin. Shelby Cox checks back in on the front line as Isabel Moore heads to the service line. 17 serving 23. That's wide, and it'll be match point for the Trojans. Reese Thompson and Faith Ramos check back in. Thompson heads to the service line. 24 serving 17. Santos to Russell. Blackwell will send it over. Thompson to Brown for Hunley. Back row, that goes wide. Point, John Hardin. Isabel Carmen and Aaliyah Hunt into the ballgame for the Bulldogs. Carmen to the service line, 18 serving 24. Atkins to Brown. In the middle for Schmidt, just tapped over, up. Cox sends it back over, but wide. And North will complete the sweep, winning 25-18 in the third to go 3-0. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunication needs. Physical Therapy Associates, more personal attention for more effective results. Online at physicaltherapyky.com. eTownApartments.com by Mark Harris Construction is a family-owned and operated management service with over 30 years of combined service. Take a virtual tour today at eTownApartments.com. Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, a family-owned business with competitive prices, pickup service, and a friendly staff. Call 270-982-7206 to talk to someone about scrappy metal and recycling. E-Town Exterminate is a locally owned, family-run pest control company that's been serving the surrounding areas since 1976. Whatever your pest control issues are, termites, spiders, crickets, general pests, even moles, their team has the knowledge, skill, and training to safely, effectively eliminate the problem. Call 270-737-6900 or go online at muggabug.com. And West Point Bank, with 5 offices located in Elizabethtown, Radcliffe, Upton, Glendale, and West Point. Let us help make life simpler. Hometown banking made simple. Online at westpointbank.com. And a reminder, we're back on the air tomorrow night with middle school football and then Friday night with high school football. For all of our student workers here at HCEC-TV, I am Bobby Thompson saying so long and good night.